And I was like, I don't think she would drink coffee.
More of a tea gal?
Yeah.
Not that type of person.
So I went with the Starbucks pink drink.
Oh,
that makes sense. Although, if you want, you could also do your other characters' coffee drinks if that would make sense.
Oh, I didn't even think about them. Oh god.
Virtue straight black coffee. No, wait, coffee probably would have been.
No. Oh man.
Roya, anything Irish coffee.
I feel like V would go with the mocha cookie crumble.
Yeah, that's fitting.
Yeah. Leah, I was thinking like my mind immediately went to like black coffee, which I think I would stick with. Maybe add some sugar if she's feeling extra peppy. I don't know. But I imagine she goes like really in depth with like the beans and like how it's made.
Oh,
Not
she's
necessarily
a coffee snob.
Like a coffee snob, yeah.
There's one I'm trying to think of. It was on like Bones or something years ago. Apparently, there's a type of tea in England that's apparently strong enough to be considered like a cup of joe to them.
Ooh.
Apparently, like it really helped some people who liked like a normal cup of normal coffee, just black coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it for a minute, and I was like, okay, I'm kind of stuck here. But then I remembered that she was that I was inspired by Korean stuff, and I was like, oh, Dalgona, perfect. So I went with a frozen Dalgona with an extra pump of cream, half a pump of caramel, 2 pumps of chocolate syrup, and 2 heart-shaped ice cubes.
Very nice.
And now I kind of want to make that. I haven't had a Dalgona in forever.
It sounds delicious. But yeah, and I was like, Kaylin, grande pink drink with whipped cream, add extra vanilla bean powder and some heavy cream to it. Call it a day.
Nice. I was also wondering, because if they showed all the cool stuff they could do, would she make, like, the first time there, an amalgamation of everything jumbled together that looked interesting?
She sure would. She'd be back there experimenting.
That, like, one order that one guy had of, like, the bring in, like, a huge cup and just get everything. He got that for free.
The thing that one guy had that smelled really good. That one guy. Just playing for a long line.
You know what I want.
She would.
And if you don't, I'll sue you. About that. Yes. You must know what I want, automatically. God, now I'm just remembering like was it a copy pasta or like a skit of like a guy like trying a cup of coffee at like a local coffee shop, and it's like, okay, this is it. And like goes over to like the barista there, it's like, you are going to make my coffee from now on. I will tip you this much. You will have it ready exactly to these specifications each time this day. I will already have my money in hand, and we will just swap stuff in our hands at this exact time every day. These are the exact days I won't be in. If I do not arrive at the exact minute, assume I am dead. Like all those specifications.
Matt said in our chat, feed the NPCs candy like Suits and Spirited Away, and I could definitely see Kaylin doing that.
Fun,
Adorable.
fun.
This is the weirdest food combination I've had in a good long while, but I don't know what urged me to make this. You can't really see it with the photo. Hold on. There's a bunch of shredded chicken underneath the noodles, and then there's just a bunch of links, and then just white chocolate chip cookies.
Yum.
Girl dinner.
Are you enjoying it?
Girl dinner.
Girl dinner. What? I've been
Wait,
hearing a little bit about the girl dinner trend.
what?
That's exactly what this reminds. So a trend on TikTok, I guess, girl dinner, where it's what girl dinner is, which is not an actual dinner. It's getting a little bit of everything. So like, girl dinner could be a handful of shredded cheese, some torn up pieces of ham, and some Ritz crackers you found in the cabinet, and that's your girl dinner. Or leftover pasta, a Pop-Tart.
Handful of random smaller things that
Yeah.
kind of come together for an actual, well, quote unquote, actual full meal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this picture is
That's
giving me girl dinner energy.
I've been doing this for years. I didn't know there was a name to it.
I think the name is like very recent. I'd be curious, and I'm not expecting you to necessarily have the answers, but I'd be curious to know why that's known as a girl dinner.
I have no idea, because this honestly makes me think more like bachelor dinner. Because I see my boyfriend, he'll eat,
You know, I've
he'll
definitely done-
have whatever dinner I made him, and then he'll have a popsicle, then he'll have some fruit snacks, and he'll be like, "Hey, do you want popcorn?" It's like, but maybe that's just grazing.
grazing. I feel like is a more like neutral term, but like, yeah, no, I don't know. That's
Well,
pretty
it
universal.
depends. Is it all at once with grazing, or is it like it did like just one slowly after the other one?
I think it's gradually throughout the day, lots of smaller things throughout the day.
Hmm.
So yeah, I'm mislabeling it.
There are no labels for this. We're inventing them as we go. I don't know. With yeah.
Okay, who wants to go next?
I think pink drink per order, and then Leo was the coffee snob. Do we have any? I mean, was there something else we were going over? Should we roll?
If anyone want to do their other character drinks, or are you good with these?
Oh, I guess Neris. I mean, sorry.
Oh yeah, go for it. No, go for it.
I didn't have anything. I was gonna like go and then think for like until I figured it out. Oh, you know what he'd go for? He'd go for like a what's the white chocolate mocha? I think.
Ooh.
Not white chocolate. Something like frothy.
What, cappuccino?
Oh, maybe a cappuccino. Yeah, that would be.
I'm just spitting out coffee terms. I don't actually know what I'm talking about.
Crystal, use your knowledge to correct.
Yeah, feel
Oh,
free
God.
to admonish or rebuke me.
I'm not gonna lie, I was not paying attention.
It's okay.
That's
He said something white and frothy, and I threw out the term cappuccino.
That can be.
It
involves
has
steamed
foam.
milk. Yeah. Yeah. There's whipped coffee that might actually be something if you're looking for something light and airy.
that might be interesting.
But yeah, as for my other characters, Roya, anything Irish coffee. I don't know about everyone else. I have to think about that one.
Are we going into like other characters from like different campaigns, or are we leaving it at the one this campaign?
I left the invitation open for whoever wanted it, but feel free to think about it and get back to us later on this, because this is something we could jump in at any time.
Yeah. Interesting question.
I feel like, I mean, just like with Sidian, just because that's like one of the go-to characters when I think about other stuff like this. Uh, he's also probably primarily black coffee, but I think in less of like being like a snob like flavor and like stuff wise. I think he's more give me the most powerful thing you have. If you give me decaf, I will cut you. Because I think he's more interested in the results.
I would expect for him to say, I need a pitcher of espresso.
You try to, like, you pour him a cup of coffee and you have the pot in one hand and the cup in the other. He grabs the pot.
Okay, y'all ready to get started?
Uh-huh.
Let's go. I'm ready.
Alrighty then. And if you look in the art/NPC character art channel, there's a quick reminder of where you guys last left off, stepping in with your current companions of Mr. Black, Mr. Green, and Blue.
Woohoo.
You've been left by Mr. Red and Mr. Purple. They've gone off to do anything.
Suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Brown, Mr. Black, they're all there. With you all, and you've entered this place, essentially ready to settle down for the night, hopefully. And as soon as you step into the main one, hoping to see, what you see is the back window completely caved out, and looks like it's been there for a while. And on the other side, you see someone who's already apparently set up sort of shop with wagons, a few things out. Like, this is obviously a camp well made by some, trusted travelers. There's in the cart. And there are 6 individuals there. How do you all proceed?
Just to also recap, because we just opened up the door to this, like the main door to this building, and like the back wall is out. They're like on the other side of this building, so they're just next to the building, just on the opposite side.
Yes, apparently using this as kind of like a makeshift cover for their little campsite.
Okay, so are they camping inside the building, or are they just kind of like in
They
and out?
seem to have their stuff on the outside, but you're not sure if they've come inside to claim any of this. You're unsure.
Okay. Do any of you have any gut reactions, or is it just kind of...
I know we kind of left off on this, but do I know the 2 natives with them?
You can go ahead and roll me a D100 just to see if by chance you've stumbled across them in your wild.
Oh, 91.
Cool.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, then I got to pull something up because that was you literally hit the top percentile.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So yeah, you passed. Yeah, you passed by them recently and got a full info download. Just partly from them, partly from the people around them as you were, passing through.
Not quite a and have met this person, but...
Oh yeah, I wasn't expecting to be like, yeah, we're friends.
Been in the same room. Like, talked to the same, like, they talk to somebody, then you talk to somebody, it's like, who was that person? It's like, I don't know, but they were kind of an asshole. Or maybe they weren't. I don't know. They were really nice. Maybe not. We'll find out.
Right.
Yeah, because my actions will depend on what I know about these people. So let's see.
That tracks.
So you know that specifically from her garb, as it is specifically engraved with certain designs to let you know what clan they're from, and also what village. The Deus Rad. And she's wearing more official stuff, usually reserved for the leading family, usually direct family of the people in charge, the chieftains or shamans. You're not sure, you don't remember. Last you recall, the leader in charge of said clan was from the Vendor Halas village. And the clan chief was a woman named Aldrin. She was also currently leading a massive war party last time you checked. Yeah, word of the grapevine, against the Gold Lions, which you know are the natives' terms for the Bridge Alliance, or the massive congregation of merchants. Or essentially just the massive guild of merchants that became a nation. Not to be confused with the actual merchants congregation, which is essentially just a bunch of royals that do business, and that's just how they keep themselves and made a kingdom.
Huh.
You also notice that the person standing next to her, while is wearing like the traditional robes, someone newly into the tribe, his face is tattooed in something extremely unfamiliar. And if you want to go ahead and roll me a quick history check.
Let's see. Nope. I rolled a 1, so that's a whole 2.
Yeah, no, you find it weird because those tattoos are not native, or you've not seen any of your people with them, or it's like very, very sparse amongst the visitors of your land, so you're not entirely sure why that's on him.
Huh. Would I know any way to greet the woman? Like, is there a traditional way to greet her?
You do. Oh, you're also able to notice by the almost like leaf-like odd kind of tattoo she has, and the almost vine tree-like branch through her hair that seems to be growing as a part of her, that she's what's known as a Dinmogas, which translates to druid.
I don't mean, I don't know if you have more questions, but I was actually going to ask a similar question. Is there some people here that I recognize, or at least I may recognize some symbols or uniforms of some?
Specifically people, none you would recognize visual really quick. Actually, no, roll me a quick... roll me a quick, your choice, investigation or history.
Okay.
Seeing if you're going off a quick memory banks or just what you notice off. Quick little...
I will go with investigation. That, I think with a total of 7, I don't think that's all that impressive.
It's a little quick in a flash, but you can tell this is an odder sight for you because this is essentially a smattering of almost all of the existing parties of the island, which is odd for them to be in a single place, let alone traveling together.
So all of the colonies and the neighborhood.
You at least see one from each, except for the Norts. You don't recognize any of the normally overcoat and clothing you'd normally associate with them. But make me one more perception.
Perception this time? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that's much better. 28 total. I rolled 19.
And immediately you're able to discern that the man in the native garb is not a native. You can immediately tell because the tattoos on both his face and the hat he's wearing are strictly more. Specifically, yeah, they're indicative of that. And you can also tell by the tattoos on his face, which the Nord use as a symbol of rank, he is a captain, or he has the rank of captain. And that's tattoos on something you can just get. Those have to be earned and issued.
Yeah, and
so
I assume probably very disgraceful if you get them without earning them.
No, that shit's easily a death punishment for anyone who tries to get them and either pretend to be in Norse, or one who tries to get them without earning them. It's usually instant death because most of the time you need there's no way to remove them at this point because the way they use it, it's a magical tattoo, essentially.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Leah, I think, freezes for a moment. Because we're just basically, we all like opened up this door and saw.
Yeah. You also think it extremely weird that one who's ranked as a captain is so far inland, not wearing their normal clothes, and not on a ship or near a dock. That is the weirdest thing of all.
This is odd for so many reasons, and I don't even think we've like observed all of them yet.
Nope.
No, you've gotten like 2. There are still another 4 people there. You know, anyone can ask about, or wait until someone makes a move.
We'll see.
Leah will greet the woman. And
Leah?
whatever. I mean, not Leah. Caitlin will greet the woman.
Leah pops up.
I mean, Leah is here. It's just.
Yeah, no. I saw your name. I'm looking at the screen on the streaming screen. No, Kaylin will, whatever the traditional way to greet someone that is of higher rank than her in her tribe, she will do that.
And she receives you while looking a bit, shocked that people just wandered in. She does smile and greet back. But now she is a bit curious on what you are doing so far from any village with odd company.
Hey, same. She will note her confusion and give a warm smile, non-threatening smile, and introduce herself.
Are you going to pause before introducing? Because I think Leah, I don't mean to. Sorry.
No, if there's anything you're going to do in the meantime, first one to seem to be breaking this ice is going on. But if anyone else wants to try anything or any last minute lookies on the new people you're now sitting in front of, last chance.
Gotta roll my thing. Min, you doing anything?
I think I'm just observing at the moment.
Well, I guess. And Leo will actually kind of mention this, not like directly, because this is definitely going to be loud enough for them to hear, but like kind of mentions, well, I guess similar parties think alike. We're just coming through to make camp for the night. I see you're doing the same.
And you see the gentleman in the large and extremely well built and ornate armor, the hat, and the assortment of bags and such, seems to be the one who speaks up for this group. Hi, we have been preparing for our nightly settle, passing on our way to Hickman for the now time being.
Sorry, what did he say? I think I may have missed a bit of that.
Sorry. He's preparing their voyage. They're on their way to Hickman, which you know is very much to the east.
Okay. We're in the west, aren't we? Or we're heading
You're
towards the
that,
west.
you headed up north first before you begin to diverge either north or south, because north is just going to be more tribe and unexplored or uncharted wilderness for your group. Most of the islanders can find their way around pretty well.
Okay. So we were kind of. It may be helpful to have a map. I think we had one before. It was in the maps channel, I guess. Is it in the something further up? You know, it may have been there. Oh, you know, it's probably in the world so far. No.
There is a map, but no one's gone to England.
What was that? Sorry.
There is a map of certain small cities, or generally the island map, but no one's gone to collect one of those yet.
No one's gone to collect the map. Was that what you said?
I
Yeah,
assume Mr. Red has a map.
Oh,
Maybe.
possibly he seemed to know where he was going. Because
Yeah.
maps, for the most part, unless you're like with a caravan, are nothing but directions to routes, and most people don't give away the geographic location of active war zones.
well,
Which,
fair enough. I'm just wanting to check in on where, in general, things are located. Where we're
for the most part,
situated.
yeah, you're roughly a day from the city of New Serene.
Okay. And we're headed.
You're not sure. You're
I don't think we know
still
yet.
being led on the way.
Which
It's
direction
something-
have we been marching?
North mainly, but
North.
you've occasionally curved up or down, but mainly been north.
Okay. Kind of meandering.
And that's been irking you a lot, that you don't know where you're going or where you're being led to.
Yeah. All
I
right.
sure hope these people don't end up being shady. That would be a shame.
I think we're
it's
more
not
likely
like-
to be shady.
Yeah, I think we're the shady ones.
Oh, come
Yeah, no,
on.
this-
What are you
we're
talking
making
about?
This guy
Barton
looks.
a hippie bard and a hardened guard woman. I mean, what's shady about us other than my smoky eye?
Yeah, and completely gloss over the other three, technically four other individuals with you, and the two that already left you here.
Yeah, disappeared.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a little bit interesting, trying to explain what we're doing here, considering we don't even know.
Well, we're not helping to guard a caravan.
Well, that's
Maybe.
what Leah had brought up to you as a job. Was that to you or to Kaylin? No, that was to you. Because Kaylin was like, we are not doing
I'm sorry,
that
I am
now.
not the best note taker.
You're good. It's been a hot minute. But remind me, did this gentleman ask a specific question, or was he just saying, okay, cool?
Oh no, he was about to introduce himself, but he was. It's the weird thing of seeing who's going to start first with talking. He was not sure if it was going to be you or him.
I'll kind of hold, I think, for a moment and see if he's gonna go. I think Leah's kind of going with is he expecting me to kind of explain the situation first, or are we?
No, he waited, but if he sees you're not going to, he'll begin to introduce himself. Greetings, I am Monsieur Avon de Vespa, and I am currently on order by the new governor and Madame de Sade on a matter of somewhat urgency. We are simply traveling there to accomplish this task. But I might inquire, what brings you all to such, and just looks around, out of the way path?
Well, we are.
And exposure.
Kaylin will shrug her shoulders. I don't know. We're just following Mr. Red.
Oh God, Leah is cringing, doing her best to hide it, but internally she is cringing.
You see him looking back to his own native companion, Monsieur Red.
We had,
and you can visibly see her give her like the I don't know shrug.
We had business that we had been hired for that we are meeting someone to discuss. We're currently heading up north, and figured that we would take our rest for the night.
That sounds like an excellent idea. Must be fate that you come and join me in this. And you can see this is the native speaking, the woman. She introduced herself as Siora, daughter of the land.
Siora. All right.
I'm gonna need all these names typed out because I feel like I'm misspelling all of them.
It's fine. Sound them out. You're good. It's fine.
I'm not gonna remember them. I already forgot.
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
And if you look next to the man, there is another woman wearing a tall hat of similar armor to his, although she seems to be sporting. There's a few, most of them have blades. She has none. She does have 2 pistols at her side and a large rifle on her, along with a few pockets and odd-looking devices on her. She just simply replies, Alfra. Sorry. Can't pronounce my character's name. Afra.
Athra, you said?
Afra, yeah. Aphar. Simple name.
Okay. Afra. Yeah. There.
And with your keen edge, you can notice she's currently palming a pistol, though mostly no one here seems to notice, but she seems to have it at the ready.
Is she like kind of it's like a loose grip? She's kind of like almost toying with it, but she does have it in her hand.
No, she has it very well hidden, but I rolled for it, perception even enough to see that it's there. She's not like gripping it, but she's got it like at the ready for a more or less quick draw, you'd guess, if things would go.
Leah is also kind of keeping at the ready. Got kind of a cane at the side, kind of like a hand, just kind of like not leaning on it, but got kind of like it holding it, kind of ready in case. Dun, dun, dun. Well, I think we were planning on making use of the what remains of this building in the courtyard. If it seems to be no matter to you and your group, I think we should be able to coexist.
And that's when the old man stepped in wearing really nice armor. Think very Spanish inspired. Kind of conquistador think. He's way at the back, so I don't know if you can see him in the picture.
I see the darker sort of armor.
Yeah, I gotta see if I can get a better picture of him. Armor's pretty sweet, but yeah. He comes in, introduces himself. You can very clearly see the sun symbol indicating he is very much a part of the theocracy, and he introduces himself. Hello, Bishop Testras. And we would be delighted to share this.
I think you may have cut out there. I heard delighted to share this. And then it cut out a bit.
Space with you. Is everyone else hearing me okay?
Okay.
There you go.
Space. Okay. By the way he's saying that, and is he like invading personal slightly? Is he getting in our grill, or is he just kind of like
No,
walked
he's
up?
walked up and essentially joined just a step behind. He's assuming de facto leader, so they seem to be deferring to him mostly. Each of them seem to be speaking their own mind. There's one last person behind them who is, well, noticed you, has not stopped what they were doing. And then there is the other person that you are unaware, that you know is dressed as a native, but is not one. And they just seem to be quiet and just letting this play out.
Yeah. The one in blue in the image, is that the one that's kind of holding back?
Yeah, farthest in the back seems to be doing something on a table or some kind of thing. You're not sure what.
Maybe cooking, maybe something else, who knows?
Cooking, maybe he's preparing a pistol, maybe he's reading a book.
Maybe he's drawing out a map, maybe he's plotting out world domination, who knows?
Might be responding to a letter.
Maybe he's just miming doing something to look busy so that the others think that he's a useful member of the team.
Who knows? Who knows for sure. Alright, that seems to be there for most closer to the hole, because you guys technically came in through the doorway maybe a few steps before you noticed. So you guys are not fully in the house yet unless you've, stepped up to get closer to the top.
I'll take a few steps. I'll have taken a few steps closer, but not full on, like jumped, like walked up to the hole, like probably like halfway to the hole, I'd say.
Alright. With that, you can see clearly that this seems to be a well-funded and or well-supplied moving caravan party.
Interesting. We'd be happy to share. Leah is frustrated that she does not know more about the situation because she doesn't want to perjure herself, but yeah, we'll see.
And they just nod politely, but they just seem to be standing their ground waiting for you guys to finish. Anything else the rest of you going to do?
Either you two going to do?
I really don't know what to do in this moment here. Not gonna lie.
Moment of strength. Anyone else?
Kaylin will go up to the native woman and the guy with tattoos.
Okay.
Walking through the hole, I assume?
Yes. Because they said we were welcome here, so she's taking that as an open invitation. She will greet them again and introduce herself as Miss Yellow.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's another thing. Do we use names? Do we use fake names? Do we use real names?
All up to you. She gives you... I guess so. See you. Hello, did you hear any of that?
No.
No.
Okay, let me start that over. Siora gives you a smile and an odd head tilt, but asks her question again. So what brings you here on this odd turn of events with this company?
Kaylin will look back to her group and shrug her shoulders. She's still smiling. They seemed interesting, and they asked for my help, so I said I'd help them.
Leah kind of walks up to the hole, but
no
not like
reason of any. Well,
like
if you have any further questions, and if you do require any assistance, and she does hand you a small bracelet oddly carved little rubies and stones.
Yep.
And she hands this to you and says, should you require assistance or guidance, you're always welcome to ask. And she does leave it in your hand.
And like I said, we're traveling for a meeting. We've all been requested for some work that we're going to meet to learn more of soon.
You want to put in like a persuasion or deception check? How do you really believe this, or are you trying to convince them?
That's fair. I'm trying to think of something that I can say that'll, sate them, that won't perjure myself later on. It's not like
for the
full
most
on
part, they don't
public
seem like to be super like trying to get at you, but you definitely caught them off guard, and they're definitely keeping an eye on.
I will go with deception, just in general. Okay, a natural 20. Oh no, actually 21.
A natural 21.
Unnatural 21. Supernatural. Ghoulish.
Well, this man seems to just give you a curt nod and smile and said, best of luck. And they just seem to go back to what he was doing, back to the little table that had a blade on it, and seems to be taking a few things apart and working on them. You notice that it seems to be a little workshop, whether it's to maintain or possibly improve. You're not sure.
Interesting. Was the one that was kind of fiddling, trying to kind of like palm a firearm, do they still look like they're on edge?
Yeah, no, that was Alpha. That was Alpha. She was in the back. She seems to be. She's got the look of more, now that you're having time to see her move around, she seems to have more of the bodyguard kind of feel to her, going around this guy.
All right. So I guess kind of turning to. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Turning to the one that kind of seemed to be the de facto kind of leader, I kind of ask. So you mentioned traveling east. Anything that you can share about what for? You don't mean to pry, but
business for the governor.
The governor. All right.
An errand for His Majesty.
Something like that.
Party quite like this for a mere errand. Well, I wish safe travels.
Okay, what was your passive again?
Passive perception?
Yeah, for everybody. I'm just gonna quickly look at the other characters.
16.
17.
19.
Well, we're just a series of one-upmanship, I guess.
So
actually, I had a.
Actually notice this. The guy in the back, the blue one, he does step to the side, and you see it's a rifle he was working on, and
got a gun.
Afra seems to, as soon as you started asking more about where they were going or why, the other hand seemed to have just gone behind her back. And that's when you notice as she simply, because the one you're talking to is the one who stepped on to start working on the blade that was on the work table.
Okay.
So as soon as he essentially went in and started doing that, she essentially turned to the side and like got a better view of all of you, and that's when you noticed that she had 6 guns. 2 of them strapped behind her back, 2 of them on her thighs, and then another 2 are actually strapped to the sides of her forearms.
All those guns, you'd be surprised that her pants were falling down. That's a lot of weight.
Oh, I mean, they're
Seems
not
to be.
all in her pants.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but like 4 of them are.
Yeah, it's weird because there's also a rifle on her back because you're not sure.
Bill.
And actually, with that high enough perception, you're able to notice these guns are not the standard make and mark that you've seen. These are all custom and multi-barrel.
Interesting. Oh, okay, yeah. Got the preem stuff.
Yeah, you know this, that to make one is costly as all hell. To make a working one is more so. The fact that hers are well kept, polished, and look like custom jobs with filigree and meant to more as a symbol of status to some who have never used it a day in their lives, and she's out here with them, is weird. Because like half the things on her are the things people would have in a showroom back in Hickman, or what people would trade for, like the high stakes poker games of nobles. They just toss them in the pot when they're out of cash.
Do they have it? Could Leah, like, could she tell whether this seems to be, like, she's used these and like they're maybe like maintained, but like they're like they've seen battle, or do they seem like
One more
just, like,
investigation
fresh off the
or
shelf?
perception, depending on, are you just going to try and look, or are you trying to get a little bit closer?
I'll do perception. She's just kind of trying to look and see if she can
Alright.
pick up on that.
Go ahead and give that little perception.
Say 17 total.
17 total with that. You can look. They're very well kept, but you can see these are well used. They
Alright.
paid an extravagant amount for something to look showy, but they seem to get their worth out of it.
Yeah, so they are not. They've been. They have tested their metal. All right.
Indeed, but they still seem to be well buffed and shine.
All right. Excuse me. And does it seem like she's the primary one that tenses up, or does everybody in this?
Just her and the man in blue at the back, who, now that you notice, has a rifle. He's not doing anything but holding on to it. And you couldn't tell from like the angle he was behind all those tables and stuff. Like he seemed to have had that at the ready.
Interesting. Well, I think kind of Leah ends that off as just kind of with a general sort of dismissive. Well, I hope you have safe travels then. I don't know if that eases the tension or whether they're still kind of on
He
guard.
smiles back and just, because the only ones that are doing so are these 2. The rest of them seem to be smiling and seem to be not so much with their guard up as the first 3 were.
So, can I tell at all, like, which 2 factions they belong to, or can I tell, like, one of the factions?
There are almost all of them.
Well, yeah, all of them, but, like, are all of them displaying signatures from each faction, or are, like,
Yes.
the ones that tensed up?
Well, no,
Okay, so
because
they're all-
from the Congregation of Merchants, which is where you're currently, the town you just came from is their major city. That's where you can tell this man from Devestus.
Oh, which one? That was the one that has the hat, curved hat.
Yes, Devestus. He's the one who has that one, but the bodyguard seems to be from the Bridge Alliance. From the Theocracy, obviously, you have the father in the black armor. Then you've got the 2 natives, and then the Nord in hiding. So,
Okay.
all 4 of the major ones are here, and then the native.
Wait, what faction is the guy in blue in the back? What is
You can't tell from here. He doesn't seem to have anything on him that would
okay.
discern that from what you can see, because he's actually pretty far back there.
Okay. Alright. Caitlin, I'm sorry if I interrupted the conversation that you were having at all. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. Multiple conversations all at the same time. You can step back and you can continue on where we were.
Yeah, I think while that conversation's happening, Kaylin will look down at the bracelet that she's been handed. Is there anything special or odd that she could know about the bracelet?
You know that these are usually given to people when they first venture out their village. You actually have one. Whether you still have it, kept it, lost it, up to you, but you are given one before you left. Usually used for prayer, if and when you find yourself with a difficult decision or in a bit of trouble.
Oh. Kaylin is touched that she's receiving this then for a second time.
Indeed.
And she'll look towards the woman. I don't have anything I could return this gift with. This is too precious.
She smiles back and says, "Your gratitude and your safety are more than enough." And that's when you notice by her side, the hilt that she had was covering it, but you notice she has a sword that's currently looks like it's somewhat on fire. It looks like she has a stick of flowing magma on her side that's somehow not burning all of you.
neat?
I don't have much to repay you with, but I am a entertainer of sorts. I could provide a song.
I would love to hear your music.
And the rest of your company, would they also appreciate some music?
Of course they would.
I believe they would.
Then she will give a single nod and start pulling out her lyre. And in the middle of all this, she's going to start playing music.
Leah's
Roll me a
gonna
quick
kinda-
performance check.
Leah's gonna step back and kind of as this, I don't know, because I know she's doing that. I don't think we've checked in with the others. Are they just kind of like sitting back, like, who cares about these idiots? Just get some sleep. I don't know.
Performance was an 18.
Nice. And at this point, you notice that Mr. Black and Mr. Brown have actually gone up and started a conversation of their own with the gentleman in the black armor.
Ooh.
No, sorry, misspoke. Mr. Green and Blue are there with Mr. Black. Mr. Brown is talking to the woman with the guns. And he seems to be pulling out his own, and they seem to be having a conversation about these odd weapons that some of you familiar with, others have not seen.
Sharing notes. They're all right.
Bonding. I like it. Everyone's getting along.
Woohoo! All right. Well, the tension seems to be easing at least. Leah, I think, is gonna pull up a seat and probably pull a bar stool maybe from kind of the tavern and like pull it up to the kind of edge of this hole and just kind of take a seat and observe as this is going on.
And you do so. You can give me a quick, I'm not sure if there's anything else you'd like to do, or you can just give me a passive or rolled perception just to see, keeping an eye on things for now.
I think at
Anything
least
else?
for a bit now, she'll just be observing. I mean, are you doing? Sorry.
If these guys who are just coming into a conversation, wouldn't mind watching them, seeing what they have to say. Would it be Snoopy?
Cool. Who would you like to speak? There are currently 2 conversations. Actually, no.
And
Yeah, 2.
it's either that perception check. I rolled a natural 20 plus 9.
Yeah,
You perceive everything.
nice.
I
And with
see.
that, and it's weird because you start just going over everything, just not only around you, but also the building, all the exits and entrances, how bad and disheveled it is.
Well, I think she's also like planning out like kind of like, don't go to this area of the tavern. Like that's probably deteriorated too far. Maybe like observing the other end of camp. He's like, okay, we can run out that way if like something comes from this direction.
Yeah. The 2 that just started talking. What was it? Mr. Red and then Blackguard? Is that?
Mr. Red? No, not Mr. Mr. Red and Mr. Purple are gone. It was Mr. Blue and Green and Mr. Black who are currently talking to the black armored individual, while Mr.
Okay.
Brown is currently talking to Afra.
Yeah, the group with the black armored individual. Yeah, I want to snoop in on them.
Individual with the black armor, alright? You just go ahead and roll me a, depending on how you want to do this, stealth and or perception, but let's see that stealth first to see how well this goes.
Stealth. Okay, 13 plus 2, 15.
15.
And then perception, 18 plus 7, 25. I mean, I did spend time in court, so.
Okay, I needed that stealth first just to see how well you got this. You were able to sneakily get close enough to overhear them, so that perception would have been with advantage.
Ah. $27. I mean, 25.
Pretty good.
I'm gonna update these pictures real quick for you guys so you can just see some of them. So PCR first. Alright, and with that, you are able to, there seem to be going into a conversation about, it's actually interesting, you learn a bit more about the bishop, as well as Mr. Black, who seem to actually be familiar with not the man personally, but he has heard of him. And with that, you hear it's actually Mr. Black who's telling Mr. Green and Blue that Bishop Pestrus is of an order of missionaries, which he is a brilliant representative. He's skillful in politics and a diplomat. He's actually renowned to be flexible with his faith, with his religious ideas, to better advance his goals. And he's actually served for a few years in the court of Serene as an advisor.
interesting. What's that guy doing all the way out here?
Yeah, and he also is renowned as a very powerful user of cleric of light, as most of the members of the LAMA clergy tend to be. Apparently also close friends with the Mother Cardinal.
Oh, the Mother Cardinal.
But you do see him trying his best to stave off the glowing recommendation, just telling him that he's simply working as a mercenary for the time being, helping establish the relations with the local natives and the new Tulane outpost, the city of St. Matthias. And, going on about how it has its trials and tribulations with their current war because technically Tulane is also at war with the Bridge Alliance, which is one of the points of odd cooperation they found with the natives themselves.
Don't you just love it when people get along?
Yeah, no, they're trying their best to convert them over to this new faith, while at the same time and as a bonus, let's help you fight those guys we also don't like.
Bonding.
Everybody can just get along, except those guys. Fuck them.
Yeah. You can see him with his
I think he may have cut out again.
ah, darn.
I heard you could see his, and then I think he cut out. Something along those lines.
Okay. And then with that, they're going on this for a good little bit before Mr. Brown seems to want to talk a bit about something before he remembers where he is. He seems to fluster a bit. He just says he is an admirer of his work as a missionary and a fellow bird of faith before he gestures to Mr. Green and Mr. Blue and just tells them the odd dichotomy of the literal devil on the man's shoulder standing next to him.
Yeah, not pretty typical.
Yeah, that's how it is sometimes. Now, do you continue listening on to the conversation as it goes on, or?
Yeah, I think so. Just kind of hang out next to them, kind of try to glean information from our new
Alright,
traveling buddies.
Anytime you want to join on the conversation, just let me know and you can just pop yourself right into it, see how it goes, or you can just keep on listening.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I should also check. Am I able to hear this as well, or am I just kind of observing the conversations as they're going?
You're observing the conversations and you're picking up bits and pieces of it, but you're not focusing in on anything specific. You're keeping an eye on the area as a whole. So while also them, you're also picking up everything else. So these conversations are happening, but you're also keeping kind of an eye out, unless you wish to focus on something specific.
I'll let you know if I hear a bit of something and it's I want to focus in on that more. But I'm also currently keeping an ear, or I guess an eye out for Mr. Red and Mr. Purple, their return. Because they should, I don't know if this was part of their plan or if they didn't expect this or what.
Yeah, they told you to set up stuff while they took care of something, so they This is going on this is hitting the 10-minute mark now with all these conversations and all this going on.
Yeah.
Does anyone else like to do something else?
Yeah.
All right. And with that, we're going to continue on, and it is at this point that you hear the door open again behind all of you.
Ooh,
Who?
who could it be?
Who is it?
And you see it is in fact Mr. Red coming through the door, and he leaves it open as Mr. Purple. Walks in behind him, and he seems to be dragging something large.
Large. Leah will kind of stand up from her seat and kind of like start moving to approach and also potentially help if help is needed to like either hold the door open or help them bring it in.
They seem to have it, but nothing to help if you'd like. Not sure how that is. Take it or how they'll ask for the assistance, but and you can tell at this point that he is dragging the corpse of a large animal.
Yeah, hunting.
Doesn't seem to be exerting himself, but just seems to be dragging it here with a very clear and visible like drag and blood trail.
Yeah. Leah will kind of move in to kind of help in whatever way makes sense, whether it's holding the door open or kind of assisting with the lifting.
You can go ahead and give a strength check.
All right. Flat strength, is this athletics, something else?
Flat strength.
14. 13 plus 1. If it's athletics, then it would be a 17. But it's a 14.
It is definitely heavy. It is large. It is scaled.
Scaled. Interesting.
Yeah. And it has the giant head of a giant cobra snake.
Leah will just kind of jokingly ask, you sure this thing's edible?
Who are you aiming that towards, or just in general?
I mean, in general, but also, I guess, probably looking more towards Mr. Red, assuming he's still there.
He replies in Infernal. I'm trying to remember. Do you guys, anyone here speak it?
Nope.
Not that I can recall. Nope.
Nope.
You see Mr. Green and Blue are snickering, as well as a visible smirk from Afra. But there's a bit of a curious eye in Devespa's glance as two new people showed up. And he seems to be getting up from the workbench to go over and, I guess, meet the newcomers.
All right. Does Mr. Red seem to be surprised by other people being here?
Looking back and seeing that everyone's there, you do see a glint of curiosity. It's not surprising.
Okay. Leah will just kind of gesture over at this kind of camp that they're near, and kind of say, "Found some friends when we were looking to make camp, so perhaps we'll have more company than we were expecting to see."
Why, that's wonderful. I'm sure we can accommodate ourselves and them.
Sorry, what was that? You broke up a little bit there.
It is wonderful. I'm sure we can accommodate both ourselves and them.
Okay.
And then he does go up and step forward and start speaking to the Vespers, but they do give themselves a quick introduction. He does, in fact, identify themselves as Mr. Red.
Okay, so he introduces himself as Mr. Red as well?
He does, and that there is a look of recognition in the Vespers' eyes for a quick second before he does give, essentially start looking over all of you once more with his eyes. Because at first he was just looking to see as just normal people, there was no real intent to it. He's now very clearly studying all of you. What you're wearing, your equipment. Like you saw this before, like an engaged stare of ascertaining almost intent but capability.
Interesting.
Listen, we are the most capable people you will ever meet.
Well, some of us, at least.
Well, let's see. Well, here's hoping. We've
Fingers
yet to
crossed.
enter battle.
I mean, we don't know what Mr. Green can do. He may literally just be a little guy.
I didn't give
Like-
you like 6 meat shields for you to die on me again. But yeah, no, it gives you all a quick stare down and goes back to his normal jovial smile. Well, I wish you the best of luck on your endeavors. And my regards to the lady. And Mr. Red
Is that
will
Mr.
give a
Red?
feral. Yeah, this was directed at Mr. Red, and he gives, for the first time, a very jagged tooth. Because he was smiling for the most part, but you never really saw all of his teeth until now, and you notice every single one of them is jagged. Like, think a Venom smile.
Hmm.
And
Interesting.
he smiles, nods, and says, I will pass along with you. And it's weird because with that, and your perception of things high enough to notice, both Afra and the man in blue seem to almost relax a bit, and then Mr. Purple, who's at your side, also seems to take half his focus off of everyone else, because he's now begun to break down this beast. Halfway through skinning it, and you notice he's almost getting it done in like a single piece.
Okay. I feel like this may even I feel like this might end up being like the setup for a murder mystery, and like we're all gonna get trapped somewhere. It's like, who killed who?
Hey, tomorrow y'all are going off your way and they're going off theirs, and who knows when that dawn will come.
Who knows if it will come? Does Mr. Red start socializing kind of after this introduction, or does he kind of go off to be on his own for a moment?
He actually does, specifically going off to with the Bishop, Mistress, and Mr. Green and Blue, along with Mr. Black. And this conversation quickly turns into sharing old stories of odd and mysterious events, before it eventually does narrow down to they've somehow talked these, specifically Mr. Red, Mr. Green and Blue are talking these two men into a game of chance, which they are at first reluctant to do so, but are eventually looks like they're getting talked into it.
I think Leah will actually kind of move to join in with the socializing with that, because I think that may be something that kind of piques her interest a bit.
At the last thing you notice, both Afra and the yet-to-be-named man in blue seem to take their leave and seem to be acting as sentries, and seem to be taking a long loop around the area itself. While Mr. Vespis seems to be working on this blade at the table. And
Does
in this
Afra-
long conversation... Oh, sorry.
Well, does that Afra and the man in blue, do they leave like a good bit after like this conversation starts, or is it like midway through? Does it
No,
like immediately after they sit down?
when they start getting this conversation, and after it looks like no one else will be showing up, that's when they seem to, without being told, begin to go off on this little routine sentry job.
Okay. He is very much considering kind of leaving to go and see what they're doing, but she decides that it probably would be best to stay. So probably be looking suspicious if she immediately sat down and then immediately got up and followed them off into the woods.
And then you hear a bang, and you were never heard from again.
That I was never heard from again, or I never heard from them again, because one of those is significantly I care less. I mean, maybe not I care less about, but one of those has a very different connotation than the other.
Well, technically both can happen, because
You could.
well, you're not the only ones with guns, and this place, you're in the middle of the woods, like off a very beaten path, in an untamed jungle of foreign magic and creatures.
I'd say
But
it's
yeah.
like the Wild West, but it like culturally it's like the Wild West, where you can get away with basically anything as long as nobody kind of comes after you.
No witnesses and get rid of the evidence, but you're also exploring the jungles of Africa.
Yeah.
Mixed with but they're in the Rocky Mountains, with a volcano smack dab in the center.
Instead of a barren desert, it's like a tropical island.
I mean,
maybe not tropical.
I mean, you've heard of some of the hotter, more marshish places, because there are actual wood areas, and then there are actual forests, and then it goes off to cliff sides.
I guess what is the terrain? Is it more rainforest, jungle?
You're more in the jungles, like a little rainforest, but it's mainly just jungle. You need a machete or something to start carving your way through if you're trying to get somewhere that's not on the path.
Yeah, and we've been following the path so far, but we may go off the beaten path.
Or if you're going off a not as well traveled path, you may have to start, hacking back the green that seems to be trying to take it back.
Keep that in mind. I don't want to dominate too much of the session, so if one of you guys wants to check in with what you're doing.
Anyone wants to do anything else?
Nope, just playing.
Yeah, sorry.
And you are given request after request for anything you'd like from Syria and the nice young man with her. And we're going to join the game.
What was that, Tyler?
Nothing. Just ignore that comment you didn't hear. Okay, I was going to say, as soon as he said that, you do the dramatic outfit reveal, and you're actually now heavy metal.
Yes.
The lute transforms into an electric guitar. A pick forms in your hand from a bolt of lightning, and you begin shredding.
Great.
Yeah, so it turns out that you actually just ripped a giant tree branch off one of the local trees, it's hollowed out, and you use the vines as the string. But yeah, anybody joining in on the makeshift game that the three colors have roped in the two clerics into?
I guess, what kind of game is this? It's a game of chance, but is it... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was just asking the same thing. What kind of game it was?
They betting money?
No, they seem to be, for the moment, betting stories that they'd rather not share, and apparently there's a way of telling if they're true or not.
Did you say stories? That sounds like Caitlin's thing.
Stories, indeed, and they are of the embarrassing variety, especially for two men of the cloth and, well, a demon, a boy, and a mystery employer to be sharing upon loss.
Leah says she wants to kind of observe for the first round, and she may join in for the second round.
I'll join in.
You wish to join?
Mm-hmm. Is there any drinking involved with this? Or any drinking going around?
Not as part of the game, but and they each pull out their own little drinks and their own little flasks, which is a bit odd because the priests have like their own kind of like filigree kind of. You'd think they'd be water skins or something, but they pour them out and it is clearly not water.
Nice.
Obviously wine.
Mm-hmm.
Very clearly. Not one.
Well, heck, if they're offering, then I'll take some.
From a who do you take some? Because everybody seems to have one, even Little D.
The clergyman. Does he have one? Have some?
He does.
Then I'll take some from him, making a kind of a shame sort of face.
And he does give you, it's an odd, charming smile as he does regale you. It was not always. Well, life passed.
And we'll take a good long drink of that wine. Yum yum.
And it is surprisingly good. Heavy on the flavors of an odd fruit you've never tasted. And it's weird because this is actually damn it, the names escaped me. I had it just with me. Coconut and pineapple mixed drink. Fuck, what's its name?
Oh, pina colada?
Pina colada?
There it is. Jeez, how could I forget that? Yeah, that's what you're drinking
Yes,
right now.
Siler, how could you forget that? Come on,
I am standing 5 feet away from a bottle of said mixed drink, so I don't know.
I mean, is it on a shelf with like several dozen other types of mixed drinks?
No, I'm in my room. This is my normal shelf with my other stuff.
Well, but I mean, it's not the only thing on the shelf, is it?
No, there are a few other bottles and some the cool collectible stuff I showed you, some books, soul games, where I keep my to-go stuff.
Are they offering this drink to everybody, or is it just they just offer
only those part? They just offered those as she's the only one who's asked. But if you do ask, they do all offer. Yeah, like this
roll to
is
see whether she's just gonna go into the game.
Yeah, the drinking isn't part of the game, but it's just for anyone who would like to have one. Right?
I think Leah will ask, and I think she'll actually just kind of go, hell with it, I'll join in.
Who are you grabbing some from?
She'll kind of reach over or not reach over, like kind of go over to the kind of leader figure, the one with the hat.
He's not there at the little circle.
He's not there.
Apparently only the 5. Yeah, no, he's doing his own thing. You notice he seems to be riding alone, but he's far away enough from the group to not disturb anyone else and doing his own thing right now.
He's doing his own thing. So it's the clergyman in black armor, and who else?
Clergyman in black armor, your own Mr. Black, the bird bishop.
Yeah.
You've also got Mr. Green and Mr. Blue, the little devil and the man, and Mr. Red as well.
She'll kind of she'll go to Mr. Blue. just kind of picking up at random, but she will check in with Mr. Blue. Get it from Mr. Blue. He's offering.
And he smiles, and you take a swig, and this is honeyed whiskey.
Mm.
Ooh.
Nice
And you
choice of
hear
drink.
Mr. Green snickering, just fancy.
She's
And
not
you see
gonna.
Mr. Green does have his own little flask, which is, it looks like a big flask in his hands, which is an odd kind of like how he pulled it out of his little pocket.
He's got it. Is it proportional to his size, or is it like regular?
No, this is like a
Just
normal
regular?
person flask, so to him it's almost as big as his head.
That's awesome. I feel
How,
like
how
that's
big of a
really-
drink do you take? Is thing real quick.
Is this like, because I think she's got like because I think she's got like her own provisions, so like she has a cup that she's probably like pouring this into. Is he like offering to like pour it into the cup? Is he the one pouring it into the cup?
He
Or
offers
is-
you to pour as much as you'd like.
Okay. I'll pour. So this is a whiskey. She'll pour. I don't know, a decent couple of ounces, but she's gonna leave him plenty. But she's
You
planning on
notice
sipping, tasting.
when you like, yeah, you sip, you taste, you go it down. The consistency's not going away, or the volume doesn't seem to be decreasing as you're pouring. You notice,
Okay.
like it was
Uh,
filled to the top when you started, and then you poured yours after you like took a swig just to
okay.
see what it tastes like, and it's still at the same spot it was.
I think I'm gonna kind of make an assumption here, and I think that she has some experience that would back up her knowing about this sort of enchantment.
Yeah. It's not. It's a bit costly, and there's actually few people who know how to do it because it's very frowned upon. Because this, if too many people do it, will kill the industry.
You sly devil.
So, yeah,
That's a nice trick you've got set up here.
yeah. This is more of a like if you see these like on the long road or on the place where like you're not going to be able to go buy some yourself too. That's when people tend to dislike people using them. But out here, ideal place.
She will actually kind of after that she'll pour a bit more, probably like doubling the amount that she was taking before, but still probably not even filling her cup entirely. But she's got a good bit now, and she'll nurse that, make it last a good long while. She wants her wits about her. She's not drinking to get drunk here.
Miles takes a big long swig himself and then just caps it. Still the same old sucker. It's again from Mr. Green.
To Mr. Blue, I assume.
Yeah, to Mr. Blue. Before he takes a longer swig of his own before he belches fire. It's at that point that Mr. Brown does come back. He seemed to have. He was actually caught in a conversation with Afra before he started working on his own little, one of his own little projects. Now he seems to have finished with that, putting away this unknown little. I think it might be a gun, might be something else. You're not sure. He's got it wrapped around, and he comes in and asks to join in on the game. And not before that, he does ask Mr. Green for a shot of his flask, which he delightfully hands him.
What you got set up in there? Yeah.
Almost a 1, thank God. It turned into a 19. It was almost a 1, and that would have been hilarious and painful.
Would have been.
But you see him, that smile on his face immediately goes. It looks like he's trying his best because you can see the color going red on his face. Ooh. One. Burns. Like
What,
it.
you got rubbing alcohol in there?
What am I, a kid? No. Moonshine. It's my moonshine.
I don't know if that was mishearing. I was joking with like, what is it? Rubbing alcohol, like pure alcohol, basically. But no, moonshine. That's the powerful
Yeah.
stuff.
And
It
it's
is very
just him
strong stuff.
snickering. Yeah, no, he's just snickering at this point. It's weird because you saw he took what was essentially like a long chug before a bit of it spit out. It's blue, like a deep crystal blue, like a little bit that escaped his mouth. For a split second, you think this guy's drinking Freon or something.
Drinking some Freon.
Yeah, it was weird, but he kept it
Winter.
down.
Huh?
It looked like it took some doing.
But did he spit some of it out that we were able to see, or what?
Like, a little bit,
did
yeah.
we see
Like when he
that
took the swig, like
Okay.
there was just a little bit spit out.
Just
You
a
can see,
little
like,
bit.
Yeah, drip of it, blue coming down, like that dark blue kind of Kool-Aid.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
But yeah, no. Drinks have been passed and the game's about to start.
Are we around like campfire at this point? Is it kind of evening?
Not the sun is only starting to go down a bit, so you've still got light out,
Got light.
but there are a few glowing. You're not sure what it is because it isn't fire, but they seem to be glowing torches around their area. Nothing's been set up in your house yet, or in the old cabin yet.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
It's odd because each of these little things has a different source. One of them seems to be a crystal. The other one seems to be luminescent fireflies, that are just kind of glowing around. So
I think you're cutting in and out again. I heard there's one that's crystal, one that's fireflies, and then there was the third one that I think you're going to start talking.
hello.
Hey,
Hello?
there he is.
Who?
Oh.
Hello again.
Hello. Everything good?
Yep, there we go.
Awesome. Okay, there we go. All right. Now, one was glowing crystal with light. The other one was the glowing like fireflies. They're just roaming around in balls. The last one just seemed to be a ball of light. No real source to it, just glowing. So it seems to be like multiple sources are giving you guys the current clarity. As the sun has gone past the horizon, they're still giving off some luminescence.
So we got some good lighting in here.
Yeah, so who's starting us off?
Are there different colors, or are they all like
The fireflies are a mixture of green and blue, and there's an occasional yellow one. The crystal light is a dim blue, and the natural light seems to be like almost like sun.
Okay. And then, in terms of the game, is it like, are we doing a bet? Like, I'm not entirely certain what. Like, it seems like if we lose, we're like, so there's some kind of story that we have to share. I'm not entirely
Yes,
certain.
they're asking that those participating in the game are giving off a story that would put you in a bad light as to
Oh, okay.
and they
And it seems like-
specifically waited until we were the two clerics were a few drinks in before they pitched this. Because like they were talking about like why they didn't want to spend money because that'd be bad gambling. That's when, after the few drinks were passed, Mr. Red's the one who pitched. Stories are something we can all, trade and share and bet on. But let's make it interesting. We all got our good days. How about we bet our bad days?
And it seems like, I think there was some mention of there's something that'll keep us from, or keep us on the truthful track, or was there something that was said about that?
Yes, there was. If you're going to participate, he's asking you to, and he just shows this odd little talisman and says, and this will keep things honest, as he taps it.
Okay. Interesting. Are we doing some bet, and if we lose, we share these stories, or are we just like
Only those who are
everybody
participating. But the NPCs and we currently only have one character, I believe, who's going into the first round. Yes.
I think Leah is. I think, did Min say that she was going to be joining, or is
Yeah.
she just
Yeah, I'm joining.
Okay. Kaylin, are you participating
Kaylin's
in this?
observing. She's providing background music and intently listening for whatever stories are going to come out of this.
And
You know what?
Yeah.
Stories are her jam, but she's getting free stories.
Exactly.
And
This is great.
there's
This is
no-
the best
And
day ever for her.
That's more her jam.
Exactly.
No inclinations. Like, I mean, I don't need to share stories.
I don't
I've
even
already
have
heard
to
all my
ask
stories.
for them. They're just going to spill their stories. Even better.
I don't, like, I already know all my stories, so I don't need to share them.
Exactly. All my
I mean,
stories are
you
already
know.
written down. I need to get the other ones.
Oh,
Fair enough. Fair enough. So for the betting portion of this, how are we gonna do that?
It'll simply be I'm doing this as a simple D20, but you can, as they're playing cards or dice, essentially there's one loser. And then it just starts over.
Okay.
So
I'll just-
there's only going to be one storyteller, but everyone else has to listen.
Okay. So I'll roll my 20, and then you roll your 20, and I guess.
Were you going to skip the first round, or are you coming into the first round?
No, Leah's.
No.
I think I was
Coming in.
originally thinking of. I think I had originally said that I was gonna just observe for the first round, but I just figured. I think I rolled for it, and Leah basically just kind of went, fuck it, I'll join in for the first round too.
All right. Then those who are about to start the actual round, Mr. Red just gestures to the amulet and says, whoever does lose needs to be holding this for no tellers.
All right. So I'll roll, you roll, everybody roll.
Everybody rolls. D20's lowest loses.
Flat D20, I assume, right?
Indeed.
I got a 17.
14.
I assume this is probably like some sort of card game, not like poker.
Yes, this is like everybody draws a card but doesn't see it themselves and just shows it to everybody, just so everybody immediately knows who's the last except for the person who is, until the very end. And each of you can see that the numbers, well, starting because two people, because there was a 17 on Mr. Red, and went to the Bishop and Mr. Brown, both got persistently going down with 7s and 6s. And Mr. Green, he had a 14. And Mr. Blue got a 1.
Oh.
The ace did not save him.
The ace is not helpful in this game.
Not in this one. if anyone would like to break it to him. Otherwise, Mr. Green's gonna let him know.
Looks like you were starting us off tonight.
Boom.
And as soon as you
Cough it
say that, he just looks at his card, realizes it's a 1, and just goes, "Oh, damn." And he's just, like, at the corner of his eyes, he's looking for, like, the reaction Mr. Green is having. And just there's no comment, there's just a toothy smile as he's just somehow pulled out, like, a mini, like, bag of popcorn he's just slowly eating. And he goes to pick up the amulet. And I just have to hold this, right? And to Mr. Red, and he replies, "Yes, simply need to be holding, just to keep things." Alright, fine. Shit story. Bad. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's turn the clock back a year. Yeah. And I was just finishing to graduate the academy. Hadn't done too bad, wasn't at the bottom, wasn't at the top, but I was somewhere in the middle. And wouldn't you know it, as a salute and farewell to our great bit of education, somehow a few of my friends roped me into a playful bit of vandalism. And you notice as soon as he said his friends roped him into it, the amulet started glowing. It started red, then it went blue. And that's when Mr. Red kind of hems and points to the amulet. No half truths now. Okay, it was my idea. And I roped them into it. But at the end, well, turns out you can the difference between a transforming and a face altering sigil spell is actually a few letters off of an animate golem. So, one of the lovely statues of one of the founders. I mean, it's no longer in the same position it was. It's now currently giving the finger to any passers. A lovely bit of mischief, say so myself, if we weren't caught immediately after red-handed. And then he puts back the amulet. That was one of my bad.
Fair one.
Huge.
Certainly not the worst story that could have been shared, but or not the
I mean, if you're
worst outcome.
next time I lose, I promise I'll tell you about the time I murdered some orphans. It's a real tearjerker, that one.
I guess insight check.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I swear I'm gonna roll terribly on something really important because that was a natural 20 plus 3. 23.
With this, you can tell he's not telling you the whole truth. He's not lying either. And that's a
Sure.
concerning bit of sideways. So that's definitely a story you might want to get him to talk about if you can, or elaborate on it.
Yeah, that may be.
Anyone else?
Context may
Anyone?
be important there. Like anybody commenting on his story, or
No, they all seem to have taken it as a sarcastic jab. You, like Mr. Green, specifically smiling as is Mr. Red.
all right. Yeah, Leah's like gives I think a little like she's gives like a little bit of a chuckle like to kind of blend in. It's like, haha, yeah, okay. Kind of giving him some side eye.
All right, then. Next round, hand, roll, whatever you want to do. And you see him taking like a pretty hefty chug of his own drink.
All right. I got 3.
Anyone joining, dropping out?
I rolled and I got a 3. I'm joining, and it may not be the lowest. Sorry.
12.
Nope, still listening intently.
Wow. Nothing below a 10 on this one.
Nothing below a 10.
Not on the NPCs. What about y'all?
I got a 3.
I got a 12.
And nobody got a 2 or 1. Guess that's you. And yeah, Mr. Red ass gestured towards the amulet.
Everybody's got a face card except me. Let's see.
It's weird because the one who told you was Mr. Green.
Told me, oh, that. What did he say?
Funny, pretty face is the only one without a face.
Yeah, Leah gives him a bit of a quizzical look. It's like, that's a backhanded compliment, but okay. Kind of thinks, what's the worst? Now, is this just embarrassing, or is this just something uncomfortable?
The words given were just a bad day, or essentially you normally tell stories for the good stuff. These are essentially asking for the bad ones, but that's up to your discretion on how bad or how much detail you want to put in the story. What they seem to be focusing on, or what Mr. Red seems to be focusing on, is if they're in fact truthful.
Truthful. Well, she'll kind of grab at the, kind of pick up the amulet, kind of say, well, bad days, if I'm being honest. I've had plenty of them, but share about when I had almost a decade ago. I was, well, I may not seem like it, but I was with the military for quite a bit of time. I was helping transport a caravan cross country. It was one night out in God knows where. I don't know if that's something that would be flagged by the amulet of like whether she remembers something or not. She says God knows where. Would that be something that may be picked up?
Any half-truths or anything that's not the exact way you remember it will be picked up. Immediate lies will go red. Any half-truths or any incomplete facts that you already know will go blue.
Okay. What about full-on out, bald-faced lies?
Those will go red.
Okay. Okay, so it's just still, then it's red if it's a lie, and blue if it's...
Yeah, red if it's complete BS. If you're trying to give like half truths or just omit things that you actually know the answer to, that's when it will go blue.
Let me roll to see if she actually knows, if she remembers exactly where this took place.
Oh, and another thing, roll me a quick history.
Oh, history. History's a 15.
You're having a hard time remembering, but you could swear you remember hearing about someone making an amulet, crest, tattoo, something that was specifically made for interrogations. And after they only made 10 of these, because it was a difficult bit of ingredient gathering and circumstances to forge them. The person the person who made them disappeared, and no one could figure out how he did it because he kept it a secret. The 10, only 7 of them are accounted for. 3 of them are currently missing.
Interesting.
You don't remember because each one was different. They were made. Only the original 5 shared how they detected truth, which was a compulsion that prevented any lying, similar to certain spells that force it. But with the amulet on, it was kind of a compulsion. The last 3 seem to have said to have had custom indicators.
Interesting. Who do I immediately do I recognize this is for sure one of these?
You don't. You just remember the story, and you just know that people have tried to make others, and nothing seemed to have ever been as good or as
quite the same.
Yeah, quite the same. They tried making others, but no one figured out how it was done. And you don't know if this could be one of them. Someone probably may have cracked the code to make more. You're not sure. It's just something that pops in the back of your head.
All right. Who actually pulled out this amulet and kind of has pulled it out? Was this Mr. Red?
This was Mr. Red's.
Okay. Very interesting. Via will kind of keep that in mind at the moment. And she's not feeling any... Actually, she will test it out with... I will say she does know where this is, but when she says kind of God knows where, it
immediately starts going blue because, like I said, with blue, it knows you're not telling the full truth that you know, as opposed to if you wouldn't have seen it go red unless you tried to tell a bull or just a lie.
But it does detect because it's this statement is not a direct lie, but it's not necessarily direct either, but it's incomplete sort of statement.
But it seems to know that it's incomplete.
Okay.
So if you said something that you honestly didn't know the full truth of, but just what you knew, it wouldn't react, as far as you know.
So that is something Leah kind of notes down. Does anybody kind of pitch in, with that kind of flash of light?
Just Mr. Red. He seems to be the only one to really be speaking up about it. He says, "We need the full truth, Miss."
Yes. It was near the remnants of my hometown. No, this is actually another question, because that is a true statement. Because this kind of story, it's taking place fairly close to her hometown. But like, if I leave out other details, is it gonna kind of flag that as an incomplete truth? Is it like intention wise?
It's more intention-wise. If the information you're leaving out doesn't seem to be like important to completing like the phrasing of what you were trying to say, it might spark. But if it's just more random details of the thing itself, won't seem to do anything.
Okay. All right. Because like, she's not saying like. Originally, she was kind of like concerned about like, with sharing a story like this, who it may like. Considering we have people of many different nations, here, it may spark up some stuff if she shared like. If this was
Indeed, and you chose to share this with like a truth detecting thing on you. So,
Mhm.
yeah, it's your
But
choice.
she paused and says, it was near my hometown. So if that specific statement is complete, would that still flag it if that was something that she previously intended? I'm sorry if this is getting more complicated than it needs to be.
No, yeah. It all depends. Like when you're talking about your hometown, does the name of the town pop in your head as you're going into it? Because if that, then like that's information you're leaving out.
I don't think the name pops in.
Yeah, then you'd be fine.
Okay.
Because some people are depending on how you phrase certain things. If hometown is just what you call it and never really by its name, then that's just what it is, and you're being exactly truthful.
That's how
unless someone specifically asks.
Yeah. That's how she's remembering it. Also, just to adjust the phrasing, I may have said it like when I originally said it, but it's, I think, the ruins of her hometown is how she puts it.
All right.
We were camping for the night. We were running low on food, so a few of us went to go and scavenge in the woods, see if we could find anything that could make for a good dinner. After hours of searching, I had found not entirely certain what it's called, which I think that is truthful. She does not know what it is called. Some animal seemed unique. I knew someone in my youth who would have loved to learn about such a thing. It had this regal look in its eye, and I shot it and struck it down. For all I know, it was one of a kind, and our hungry soldiers ate that without a second thought. Who knows? I think about it often. If it had family, if it had others, if it was not, in fact, the last of its kind, or the only of its kind. But perhaps we will never know.
At this point, Mr. Wright pops in. That sounds very interesting. What part of the world were you in when you said this? And it's a creature I would most definitely not familiar with.
I believe we were in. Am I still holding the amulet at this time?
Unless you've put it back.
I actually don't even know what like specific like region of the country. I believe it would be in the congregation. I believe, is where probably. I don't know. She will share kind of
nowhere
rough
near a
re-
border or inside the main cities. No names at all.
It was kind of in the she'll kind of share. It was in the wilderness between, and she'll share what kind of 2 cities they were transporting between. It was quite near the border of. Anybody who knows geography or the geography of that continent would probably know that is near the border of. I think we determined it would be Theleme.
Yeah.
In the congregation near the border of Theleme, between several cities.
Oh yeah.
And I don't have a description for this creature offhand, but she will kind of give a couple characteristics.
Yeah, he seems very intrigued on that, and less so on the story
The
itself
location?
now. Yeah, he wanted the location just because more information on the creature, but he seemed to focus back on that and less on what the rest of the story was about. That's interesting. It definitely looked like you caught his interest with something else.
Thinks he may have an opportunity to potentially capture a rare creature.
It's possible, depending on what he thinks it is that actually might have happened. Who knows?
Yeah.
And by the way you're telling it, maybe you don't know.
I think it has been probably years since she's like full on almost a decade, if not more, since this has happened, and probably the details have gotten a little bit foggy. She more remembers it because of the emotional side of the encounter. But she'll share a few details and kind of place the talisman back on whatever kind of table that they're keeping it on.
Oh, certainly an interesting story. Certainly one to ruminate. Next round, if anyone. In or out?
In.
In.
Boba, why are you chasing that candy wrapper?
It's fun. It's
I thought
a lot
that was
more fun
in
than you
game,
think.
and I was like, wait, what?
No, sorry, my sister's cat. He is obsessed with chasing anything that skates along the floor.
No.
He keeps
Chase
getting
the
behind
wrapper.
the door and whining. Anywho, I'm in.
All right. Anyone else in?
Four.
Does he crunch on the wrapper? He just on the wrapper.
He just chases it.
And just chases it. That's fun. I am also in. 7.
Kaylin has stopped her music very briefly and is taking down some notes in her journal. And then we'll continue to play ambience music.
Ambiance. Is she sitting with us at this point?
Yeah, she's definitely moved closer.
Everybody, yeah. Were you sitting in the circle with us?
Probably.
Okay.
Well. And everybody's numbers?
7. I think
Bishop Petrus with a 6.
I think Min got a 4. You may want to check in with her. I don't know if she heard it. Heard it.
Yeah.
Mr.
Brown
yes.
got an 11.
Mm-hmm. 11.
Ooh.
Then Mr. Lee, that additional 7. You said you got a 4, same as Mr. Brown. And then Mr. Green with a 2.
Oh, get to hear a story from Mr. Green. I'm excited.
Ooh.
Back in the pits of hell.
She
Ooh,
looks
Saved
super
by the Bell.
excited about this.
Very fun.
The hell are all you mooks staring at? It's obviously one of these two. He's staring at you two who both got 7 and he sees me got a 4. It's like, then it's obviously you.
Looks like the turns of table. She would not say that. Leah would not say that. That's something I would say, not her.
That sounds like a V line to me.
But you got lower, wasn't that the rules?
Hey, what? No, this is obviously 20. Fuck you.
And I was
Please
looking forward to seeing him slowly realize.
And now he's just glaring at this card. It's a weird thing to see a small imp man in a suit glare a playing card or a piece or a die or whatever it is in everybody's head.
Wait, no, you definitely
Helen.
got lower. That's not a 20.
No,
Play the
No, it
hands
is
and
not.
gotta do what you gotta do.
yeah, I'm
Signed up
doing
for the
this. I'm
game.
doing this proper. And you see him start crawling up Mr. Blue's head, just to sit on top of his head instead of being like a latch to his side, kind of like a monkey would be. He just immediately plops on top of his head. Alright, listen up, numbnuts. I'm about to tell you, and then just... and Mr. Red hands him the amulet. And there's just a small stare down between them for like a second or two before he takes it. This is very big to him, like a giant cookie big.
But I wanted to lie. Yes.
And it's weird because you see him, he takes like a sniff, like an odd look, and that's when you notice that both behind it, there are a bunch of odd little carvings. And then he gives it like a bite and like a lick. There it is. Smooth. Alright, fine. Listen up, because this is only going to say this once. And I mean once. That's why I'm clapping back. And I mean way. Back then, there were actually no real big conflicts. And what I mean by that is almost everybody. And I mean everybody. Still figuring out who was on whose side. They don't tell you this in the history books no more. I checked. They seem to all want you to think that they all popped in with their borders all made and their alliances all neat and shaped. They didn't. They stabbed each other more times in the back than the people in front of them did. And I, myself, made an interesting deal with an old family. And I mean around the morning. Could have been the kings. It's damn right. But someone else made a deal too. I guess they go. I'm up first. So it's on you all to decide whether you want to take this with a grain of salt or not. But before all these little clubs of yours, the theocracy and the alliance with the congregation, it's actually a massive bid for power. Was almost won by a single family, backed by yours too. I got fucked over by some other family with an angel on this. Now, I'm not going to bore you with the gory details, betrayal, sex, alliances, and, backroom dealings, but there was blood. In the end, no one was left to claim it. Everybody fucked up. And they had to start. And that's how you got the world y'all live in today. They fucking.
Well then,
So is
quite
that part of
shameful.
what I wouldn't necessarily say so. Is that why you're stuck with him, it seems like? Kind of gesturing to Mr. Blue.
But no. That was way before this. Look, what you gotta understand, it's a transactional kind of fucking. I don't get my due unless things go my way. Things did not go my way. And that's when you see the amulet still in his hand starts glowing blue. Fuck you. It didn't all go my way. And it stopped glowing, and he just tosses it back to Mr. Red. The fact is, you can't be the winner if you're dead. So, no winners can't take my end of the deal. So much fucking waste. Oh well. Yeah, start over. Benefits of the loans.
Starting from scratch, then.
And that's what most of you did. The other ones chose to forget. Some didn't want to remember. Others just wrote it down the way they think it should have happened or the way they think it did. Like most sore losers, they made themselves feel.
Well, hopefully things will work out second time. Not then,
There's a very, it's an eerie bit of laughter he gives you when he says, "I hope it works out the second time." I never said how many times we tried after that.
Well, try again. It's well, I believe it was written down by a writer as the human condition, but I think it applies to all sorts.
Note to self: find and kill Lucy if still alive. See him actually jot that down on a small, little notebook.
If not, maybe you can find him in hell. I think it was. I heard from a tiefling one time that, well, somebody that had traveled. I guess I should establish this. Have people? Or I should ask this. Have people traveled to other planes in this setting at this point? Is that a thing?
As far as you know, there have only been rumors and old legends, but nothing established.
Okay. Then never mind. I'm not going to say that because that would be kind of crazy given the circumstances.
Well, you could definitely say it, and people have heard the tall tales and rumors, and people are going to think, maybe you'll be the one to do it, maybe you're a crack. We'll figure it out.
I've heard some people say, though, that they hope that all philosophers end up in hell.
Well then.
Oh, God, you guys.
Twisting a joke. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm twisting a joke from The Good Place to try and fit that joke, but it's not a one-to-one, so.
And there's a cynical little smile. It's like, God, the shit you guys have forgotten. The things I hope you never remember. All right. Anyone else going for a last round? It's getting late. Michelle feel like doing this all night.
As a side note, probably should be the last round before we head to bed if we're going to do one more.
Yeah,
Indeed.
that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think one more round and then.
One round, and then we'll essentially good night to these characters and good night to the game. And next game, next morning, everybody gets split off. The
Long
adventure
rest.
continues.
Sounds
Adventure
good.
continues. Yeah, I guess Leo was thinking this before when he arrived, but excuse me. We never actually had that discussion that we were going to have with Mr. Red about like what the job actually is.
Was wondering when someone was going to bring that up. He seemed very interested in distracting you guys with this. No one said anything.
Yeah, Leah's assuming that he's going to talk on the road because she was also a little surprised. Like, can't we just talk on the road? And I think he was resistant to that, but we definitely need the information before we get too far going tomorrow.
Probably.
But, yeah. I'm good to do one more round.
Mm-hmm.
Leo.
All right. Anyone who's in, roll them dice.
Okay. 17.
Also got a factor. We chose, or no one argued, not doing a bad story compilation, so none of this is going to be happening.
I mean, there was no reason for Kaylin to say anything not against this, so she's just having the time of her life right now.
Oh, yeah. And Leah definitely, that's not the worst story she could tell. That's probably one of the ones she can do without igniting a political scandal.
If you choose to tell certain people certain things, it tends to travel.
Yeah. We're doing trauma or whatnot. That's something
I mean,
fits the criteria.
they said pick a bad day. You went for how could I spark some like intercontinental war?
There's people here that'll spread the word, and we're gonna go to war. Everybody's gonna go.
Besides the others who are at war, let's bring everybody.
I mean, yeah, actually, though, that's a good point. Where most places are already at war, but even more war.
All right. Lowest would have been a 4 by our good bishop. Anyone got lower than that?
I got a 14.
Nope.
So I think that bishop.
And the bishop, and he is like well into his drink, so he is looking a bit out of it, but he says, seems to be my turn. A tale somber and woven for me. Back in one of my earliest establishments and bit of mercenary work, I'll confess. I once found love with woman of thee. And he does look at both you and Soria when he says this. Of the island.
Meaning who? Sorry.
I'm assuming the two islanders.
I assume so. Sorry. I think I may have missed a bit there.
Yeah, he's looking at Soria and...
Okay. Okay.
This was a time very long ago. And you see him, he started the story, and the amulet, for the most part, seems to almost want to flicker, but it doesn't. Seems to want to start every time he just keeps thinking about what he's about to say. So it looks like he's trying to, or he's used to telling the story, like, not as full as he is right now. But the truth was, he was dying. She just became a mother. And there was nothing I could do. Little time we have. Nothing I could do. And you see him just kind of defocus and go into a 1,000-yard stare before he just started muttering about her last days. And apparently he did in fact try to get her on a ship to the main continent to try to get her help, but she died on the passage. Yeah, the child survived, and apparently he didn't elaborate, since it's a bit fickle as he was born on a Nord, which by custom they tend to take any children born on their ships or those who are given to them freely through normal contract. But he didn't specifically state that that's what happened to him. And he ends his story there. Rory returns the amulet to Mr. Wood. Oh, I think these old bones are weary enough to rest. And everybody seems to be making their way to for the day.
Poor guy.
Oh. Caitlin looks like she's about to cry at the story.
Oh, we can't make Kayla cry. She's too precious.
Yeah, no, and the way he spoke about this was very long ago. Called himself just beginning his journey, and he's currently like in his 60s, 70s, and most these guys start out like mid to late 20s. So, if anyone remembers any of the story of the world and does a bit of math, yeah, or you can dictate that as you wish. But that's his story, and he was not called liar by the end when he said it.
Poor guy. Oh.
Yeah. Here's a fun thing to leave you with, Heidi. This is the person you were looking for, who Virtue was looking for.
Ah, no crap. Wait. Who was this woman who died again? She didn't happen to be
She didn't give a name or description, just she was a native of the island that he fell in love with.
Huh. That could have absolutely nothing to do with my character, but I'm gonna keep my eyeballs peeled on this man a little bit closer.
Yeah, it's not like they'll be gone by tomorrow.
Gonna disappear overnight.
Unfortunately, Min has no reason to advocate on Virtue's behalf.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah. I didn't tell you what I was going to... I only told Lisa. I specifically made this group of people just to sprinkle in the stories of your past characters and seeing if anyone would notice.
Oh, so they're not...
I was waiting for anything that would link back to Roya.
They're not, like, specifically, like, from Greedfalls itself, like, a group that goes, like, that's already preset. These are just, like...
I was expecting a little more conversation because there are 3 people left who have ties, but no one's really gone into conversation with most of them, or a few of them, which would have, sparked up a few things.
Yeah, unfortunately,
there's nothing really connects them, so you couldn't really spark anything. If anyone had talked to Afra, would have definitely noticed that she has, despite being from the congregation, the Bridge Alliance, she's wearing a coins guard.
God damn it.
Yeah, like the free drink pass is kind of like tucked into the side of her breastplate.
Oh no.
I wonder who that relates to.
Huh.
Hey, no.
Anybody else you wanted to share in that regard, or do you
I
want
mean,
to
I
save?
kind of did figure that someone was going to be connected to the coins guard here somewhere. But Kaylin
yeah.
wouldn't have the wherewithal to look, because why would she?
I mean, she might know something, but she might not realize the importance of it.
Yeah, I don't think she'd really care. Roya, though, would definitely care.
Yeah,
Right.
that struggle of plot threads for previous characters. Not our
Mhm.
characters
Yeah.
are not going to have the same.
Yeah. Fun little thing. The Nord, Nord, who's gallivanting as a native, would have definitely recognized me.
Oh, was
Ah.
he? Was he part of his? Oh man, was he somebody V knew, like explicitly?
Yeah, this would have, depending on how well you rolled on a certain little wisdom thing, would have unlocked a few memories that would have like either hinted you towards him, whether you would have taken it or not would have been like up to you when you officially met him. This was a party of people you ought to have run into, like not all together. It would have been done separately depending on where you would have gone to, be it New Saint Matthias on the west side or Hickman on the east. Like, because that was like the original mission with Lady de Sardet on behalf of the Constantine. So you would have met each of them like on the way or to the other place, and that sort of kicked off the first.
Yeah. I guess we'll see where all this takes us.
Yeah, who
Mhm.
knows what the characters that are no longer in your control but are still out there.
Explicitly stated that they are being brought back, but we'll see how it goes.
I mean, I just said that they are still out there.
I mean,
In what form or
we don't
capacity?
know. Yeah, I'm saying we don't know. Yeah, in what form or capacity?
Who knows? You guys may have to kill them.
Ba, ba, ba.
Dun dun.
Woohoo!
Who knows? Alright, guys. With that, everyone goes to bed and y'all get a full night's rest, long rest,
I
and you
assume
can all wake up in the morning.
that creature that he was preparing, Mr. Purple was preparing. Do we have that for dinner?
You do. While everyone was doing their thing, that thing was butchered, broken down, and Mr. Green is currently. He was kind of haggling because he wanted something from it. You didn't notice when he like kind of went off to that while everyone was eating. But currently, Mr. Purple is currently styling a new set of weirdly cloak made out of scale.
Okay.
Neat.
Cool. Cool. Drake skin or whatever this creature would be called.
It's a weird kind of like a camouflage kind of green scale. Like think massive kinds of pythons.
Neat. Which I mean, I'd say probably go into like keeping watch and setting up like camp inside, but we could very easily just camp wave that and not like.
Yeah, no, because
not
like
keep
there
that.
are rooms in like the building, like with beds and stuff that you can use. They just need like a little cleaning up.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess leaving
Alright,
off there.
sleep time.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep
We'll
time.
pick up
Keep
next week
gaming.
in the morning.
Next
Uh-huh.
week. Till
Well,
next
thank
time,
you
guys.
very much for hosting, Siler.
Yeah, this is fine.
But no, yeah.
My
And you
absolute
guys
pleasure.
have a
Fine.
good night's sleep.
Take care.
Wonderful days tomorrow.
Actually,
Same.
one brief thing, just to check in on. I know it's a couple of weeks out. Labor Day on September 4th. wanted to check in